Ladies and gentlemen, citizens of the universe, this is RosterWatch. My name is Alex Dunlap. I'm joined by the Trash Man, and today we're going to be talking about one of Trash Man's favorite topics, a few of his favorite topics: fantasy football, running backs, and things that are cheap and or free. And so, Trash Man, today we're going to be talking about value running backs for 2025 fantasy football leagues, as we're seeing now. ADP starting to come in from season-long stuff and kind of combining those up with best ball and how it's going to shake out for our season-long managed leagues and our home leagues as we're gearing up to put the skeleton together of the ultimate draft cheat sheet, of course, for our pro members at RosterWatch.com, who know very well over the course of the last 15 years they found to be magical, mystical, and mythical. Let's start out with you. Give us a cheap, just a nasty, trashy, cheap running back.
Well, first off, we have Kendre Miller of the Saints, a former Dunlap favorite, fallen out of favor.
Well, how can Kendre not fall out of favor? All he does is go out there and look awesome and then get hurt.
Well, I mean, you could say the same thing for Christian McCaffrey.
It's not. He doesn't get hurt every single time he comes off the injury report.
Maybe not. But, I mean, the thing is, he's still the lead backup behind Alvin Kamara, who's going to be 30 when the season starts. I mean, with a quarterback, with the garbage at quarterback, I think this is a team where the running game is going to be heavily leaned upon. And there's not really a world where I see Alvin Kamara, 30-year-old Alvin Kamara, lasting a full season or getting a full complement of snaps for the entire season. I mean,
Kendre is running back on underdog right now. He's running back 73. He's not even being taken on is he being taken in the top 200 on underdog? So, all right. So where he is right now. So on the Fantasy Pros Draft Wizards, the only place he's being taken among mock drafters, that's at 173. But other than that, the expert consensus rankings at Fantasy Pros, ESPN, PPR season-long managed leagues, he's not being taken in the top 200 either. Underdog, he's not going in the top 200. He's free. You could take him in the last round of your draft, and I do love Kendre as a prospect. I've had him every year, and thankfully that hasn't been a giant expense every season to have this guy. Right?
No, he's not expensive, and like I said, there's no Williams there behind Kamara. I mean, he's second in the depth chart. I mean, they added Devin Neal. I mean, it's yet to be seen what he can produce. I mean, Kendre Miller's a better back when he's healthy. I mean, so the question is, can Kendre Miller stay healthy? And if he does stay healthy, I think he offers value there as the second back in New Orleans.
Well, dude, here's how the confluence here works with this. One of mine, and this is probably the one that I've it's more that I really like this tier, and I'll talk about another guy in this same tier. But I think that I think that 5th round Alvin Kamara is very, very appealing. I mean, on ESPN right now in PPR ESPN, he's going at 48. He's going 61 on underdog. So
I would be more than happy to draft 4 wide receivers and take Alvin Kamara as my first running back.
Yeah, and then if you wanted to, if you're worried about him, the age cliff, or you're worried about him, is this the final year in his deal, or is this just the final year where it's like there's no way they're going on past this year when it's a rebuilding team? Hold on, I could pull it up. I've thought to myself, there's no way he plays beyond this year, but I forgot if it's because 2026 is so encumbering.
I mean, he could have a cap related.
No, I mean they have a potential out this year. He's signed through 2026, but he'll be an $18.6 million cap hit next season. So I think that it's Alvin Kamara is not going to be getting paid $18.6 million on a team that is fundamentally having to rebuild by then with a new quarterback, whether it's Tyler Shuck stepping up this year and delivering on his rookie contract, or whether they're back in the quarterback market for what's going to be a much better quarterback class next season, right? You're not, The way that you build around a young quarterback and you use that salary cap stuff to your advantage, even with as idiotic as the Saints have been with their cap, even they know the correct way is not to pay a 31, 32-year-old running back 18, $19 million.
Yeah, no,
So,
it's not tenable.
but I do think the Kamara, my thing about Kamara in the 5th round is just like, it's not really much of an analysis. I mean, you know Alvin Kamara, you know what he's done. If he does what he does, he's gonna smash that.
And if he doesn't do what he does, Kendra Miller is right there.
And the other thing is I think that Kamara is excellent value in the 5th round. Early projections agree with me. Projections are always higher on Kamara than the general public is, and that's when you have to take out the appropriate pieces of the pie for Devin Neal, for Kendre Miller, and who knows if Kendre is going to stay healthy. With that being said, I like the idea of taking Alvin Kamara and in season-long leagues just handcuffing him with the final pick of the draft with Kendre.
Yeah,
you just get them both. Kendre pops off or Kamara gets hurt, you're set. So yeah, I agree with both of those. But my first one will be Kamara. Who do you got next?
Next, I have Tyjae Spears.
Oh, really? We're gonna do this?
I mean, he had 4.9 yards per carry in 2024.
He had no ACL. When's that thing gonna be? That's a ticking time bomb, trash man.
I mean, every running back is an injury away from fantasy devastation. But if it's a similar situation. If Pollard goes down, he's the next guy up. In an offense with a young quarterback, he's going to want to take some of the onus off of him. I mean, like Spears, they basically, I mean, they were 1A, 1B in 2024. I mean, and considering where you can get Spears, it's pretty. I think it offers value. Spears is right now an underdog running back 42. I mean, like he's being taken around guys like Basil Tootin, Tank Bigsby. I mean, I think that he offers value there, considering that he's half a step away from the lead back situation in Tennessee.
These guys, if you look at them, so Tyjae Spears right now, average ADPs right now of 94, 119, 138, and 133. So we have him at kind of right here at 118 overall. The player that we have at 117, 100 and what? I just had him 116th overall. So the exact same area is Rashad White. And I think that Rashad White's an excellent value right now. We're talking about a guy that was a 4th or 5th round fantasy football pick last year. That a lot of people were doing the 0 RB, even considering him like a kind of a weird modified hero RB type of RB1 after going 3 wide receivers early. It was not a successful strategy. Of course, we saw the emergence of Bucky Irving. We saw 0 RB drafts not being good in 2024. There's a reason why all that stuff went to smithereens. If you had Rashad White last year, you understand exactly why. But the fact of the matter is, even with the whole Bucky Irving thing, he finished as an RB2 last season in PPR. He's one of the more prolific receiving backs that we have in PPR leagues. I can't get around the fact you got this. How much does Bucky Irving weigh? 196?
He's sub 200.
Let me see. Bucky Irving. Wait, I mean, how much longer can you keep just pounding this guy between the tackles like he's Ron Dane or something? You know what I mean? Like, let's see. Bucky. Bucky's listed at 194. It's like it always looks like the darndest thing whenever you're watching it. You're like, golly, but he looks good. Right. But you're like, man, how's he going to hold up to this? I don't know if he's going to have the same role season over season where you got this big 225-pound dude and Rashad White, who's like your satellite back that, handles the ancillary work. And you have this pint size between the tackles grinder. and Bucky Irving. Now, Bucky Irving did catch a good number of passes last year as well, but I'm not convinced that this guy's going to be able to stand up to the workload that he's drafted to take on. And with Rashad White, you're getting him in now in the 10th. What did I say? I mean, did I say he's 118, 116? You're getting him in the 11th round?
No,
I mean, that's a 1-2 punch running back in Tampa Bay.
I think White's a good value for sure. Pollard's not a big back either. I think
Pollard's bigger than you would think.
He's bigger than you think. He's over 200, but he's not.
I think Pollard. God, what was he? I think he's two. I think at the combine trash, I think he was like 210.
He's not over. He could. I don't think he's hits 210. I don't think he's hits.
Just look it up. I'm pretty sure though. It's here. I can look it up too.
209 pounds.
Okay. So
210.
Yeah, come on, dude. Okay. All right. So I think that Rashad White is one for me. You got another one?
No, I like Rashad White. For me, another potential value back, Braylon Allen.
And I didn't even think about that.
I mean, he's a 4th round pick in 2024. He's a bruiser to Hall. Aaron Glenn is treating Breece Hall like he's part of a committee, talking about him like he's part of a committee. I mean, and if that's the case, Braylon Allen could offer value as a goal line back, and who you can get for peanuts. Let me see where his
So as far as if you just want to look at it from the kind of the coaching perspective, we know Aaron Glenn. He's a what?
Well, I was going to say he's 57, running back 57, and an underdog.
What overall?
Overall 168.
Okay, so he's going to 13th round, 15th, 14th round. That's your final. It's a lot in a lot of leagues. That's your final pick before kickers and defenses.
I mean, that's not a bad final pick.
Tanner Engstrand, is it Engstrand or Engstrand? Tanner Engstrand, who's the Jets' new offensive coordinator. We know that Aaron Glenn is a defensive guy, right?
Back, yeah,
but
defensive.
He is bringing with him the offensive coordinator who was the passing game coordinator for the Lions. And so that guy, obviously, he's learned a lot under Ben Johnson. He's seen the kind of success that they've had consistently with a 2-back committee. If they see Braylon Allen as like their version of a David Montgomery, that would be a jackpot kind of. That'd be interesting, man. I wonder if we're going to do the training camp tour to the Jets. If we do, that'll be something.
Would that be Mitch?
Mitch always likes to go up to the Northeast. We can visit his Yankee family while he's going to do this stuff. Yeah, it would probably be Mitch, but that'll be one to definitely keep an eye on for sure. Here's one that feels gross, and it's about where he's going, and it is. You're gonna hate it, trash man, but it's Travis Etienne, and
oh gosh,
yeah.
Well, I was gonna say Bigsby. He was one of my backups for this segment.
Travis Etienne is on ESPN right now, is going at 113 overall. So we're talking 10th round Travis Etienne. And I begin to think to myself that's a little bit too low considering all the factors that we should be weighing in here, right? Whenever we think about, okay, Travis Etienne, he's getting Liam Cohen, who we just saw architect of really, he's been the architect, or at least been the understudy to a Dave Canales, who was the architect of a really good running game and just a good offense in general in Tampa Bay, right? So much so that he was a hot enough name as a coach to where he could demand that the Jacksonville Jaguars fire their GM, and they were willing to do that bring him on as their head coach in that whole fiasco. So obviously a talented play caller, talented coach, good offensive designs, right? And then you have the fact that yesterday after practice, he was asked about Travis Etienne and stuff like that, and he's like, I don't know where you guys get this stuff about him. Like, he's done everything that we've asked of him. He can catch, he can run, he has good vision from everything that I've seen. He is, he's basically saying he thinks he's great. He's like, I don't know what you guys are saying about, worrying about Travis Etienne and all this stuff. So recent coach speak from him. Whether or not it pans out, who knows?
I just don't see it as a value simply because you can get Tank Bigsby later then.
Not much later. It's like later in the round. Give me Etienne over at Bigsby any day. I don't care about this Bigsby stuff, dude. There's speculation that there's speculation that, and I don't know how real this is because it does not seem right to me, but some of the beat down there says that they're envisioning Travis Etienne in the Bucky Irving role. To me, it would make more sense to have him in the Rashad White role than the Bucky Irving role and have Tank Bigsby in the Bucky role. But there has been that speculation. But I just look, man, one of the things that you can really look at for, positive regression is to look at the expected fantasy points last season versus the actual fantasy points. He averaged 8.7 fantasy points per game, but almost 12 expected fantasy points per game. So he underperformed what you would generally expect based on the situations that he was sort of placed in. He was.
Basil Tutin's there too now.
I understand that. Yeah. And Basil Tutin would be another guy that could definitely play in the Rashad White kind of role. 10.5% target share though last year. That was RB15 in overall target share for his team last season. And he missed 2 games and he exited like 2 or 3 early. He was banged up and injured. So I think Etienne's a value in round 10. I just have one more after this. So do you have one more?
Yeah. My next one, it'll be Ray Davis.
Oh. What's his ADP?
Huh?
What's his ADP?
His ADP right now it's
trash man.
150 overall.
ADPs. Okay, that seems high to me. Kind of. You got to make this case to me.
Well, sure. I'm considering the running backs around him. Rico Dowdle. You think you'd rather have Rico Dowdle than Ray Davis? That's a no. Austin Eckler. You'd rather have Austin Eckler than Ray Davis? That's a no.
Maybe in PPR. I think I'd rather have Eckler. I was just thinking of Jaden Daniels' offense. Eckler's still kind of.
J.K. Dobbins, who's not even on a team right now, you'd rather have him than Ray Davis? I got
a little bit worried about this news from overnight that J.K. Dobbins went in to go have dinner with the coaches in Denver.
We'll see what happens there. But right now, considering where he is amongst the other running backs, I think Ray Davis definitely provides a value there for James Cook, who you hate.
Yeah, I don't hate. I've never been a James Cook guy.
14.5 fantasy points in games where he had double-digit carries.
Yeah. And who knows, man? James Cook wants this $15 million a year and stuff like that. They're not going to pay him that. They might want to just start saying like, all right, well, let's see what we have for the future here.
Yeah. I think Davis is in a good situation and he's shown that he can produce when given the volume.
All right. Fair enough. Okay. So here's my last one. And this to me just feels like a screaming deal. I'm not sure it's going to stick around though, because it's Kenneth Walker, and he is so on Underdog. He's currently going at the end of the 5th round, pick 59. But if you look on ESPN, he's going at pick 38. So early 4th. I think it'll settle somewhere kind of between there, and he'll be like a 4th, 5th round pick, sort of 4th, 5th round turn kind of pick. With Ken Walker, what you have is, I just love that tier. Ken Walker, Alvin Kamara, late 4th, early 5th. It seems like if you were like Trashman and you're considering doing a 0 RB build this year, it's like three wide receivers to start And then if you get the 2-3 turn, does that mean you? So you could start out with like if you had like the first pick in the draft, you could go like Jamar Chase, right, and then come back around and get like I don't know, like maybe like Tyreek Hill and Jackson Smith and Jigba or something like that, and then go Alvin Kamara, Kenneth Walker. That would be that's a maniacal start to a draft. But we'll be talking through those kinds of builds as we keep going. But with Walker, so you have the new offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak coming in from New Orleans. Now we know that they want to run the football more, but and kind of play a defensive smash mouth, run the football, play good defense. I just think that really equates to more Kenneth Walker usage. I think that I'm starting to become really worried about Zach Charbonnet if he's even any good. I think that them drafting Damian Martinez is so I can't help but not see it as an indictment on Zach Charbonnet.
I thought it was maybe an indictment on Kenny's like health.
Well, look, if you look at Ken Walker, Kubiak did throw the football to Alvin Kamara last year. He just did. Kamara's targets were up more. They weren't as much as like prime heyday Alvin Kamara last year, but I think he was back up to like 86 targets or something like that, which was the most dating back to like 2020. So it isn't like Kubiak is not going to throw to his running back. And you might be surprised to know that Kenneth Walker was RB5 in target share last season. And he missed a bunch of games too. So he gets a 60% share of touches inside the 5-yard line for his team. That's good. That's about the same as like Jonathan Taylor. And he's elusive. He's RB9 in forced missed tackles despite so much missed time last season. And when I got to, you talked about it. It's been about the health, right? People are just like, dude, I was talking to Matt Kelly about this on the Content King show here on the channel, is every year he's gotten an oblique strain, it feels like, right?
Yeah.
And so people are just like, he's going to strain his oblique. He's going to get hurt. It's going to lead to some kind of other injury, whatever. But who's to say it's going to happen again? Right. And then the thing is, if you look at the last 2 years, weeks where he was on the injury report, so not necessarily weeks where he was on the injury report, okay, he averaged 11.5 fantasy points in PPR. Whereas if he was not on the injury report, he averaged almost 16 points in PPR per game. You're getting a 16 point per game PPR player if he stays healthy. Are you kidding me? And you're getting him in the 5th round. To me, it's not just to me. It's just a simple fact. It's a simple fact that you can state that that's lunacy.
This is Anthony Richardson. You're listening to RosterWatch.
This is AJ Brown, and you're listening to RosterWatch.
This is Josh Allen, and you're listening to RosterWatch.